Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us on Newsfeed PM edition. Now, the organization Gift of the Givers has stepped in to help a community hit by a fire disaster in Alexandra on Marlboro Road in Johannesburg. The fire destroyed 77 shacks and left dozens homeless. This includes 14 children under 2 years old. The homeless people have been taken to shelter in an old factory building. We speak now to Tapiwa Marima, Gift of the Givers coordinator in Gauteng. Tapiwa, very good afternoon to you. Thank you for your time. Talk to us about the impact of this devastating story. What are you doing to assist?
Good afternoon, Paul, with your viewers as well. The situation in Alexandra is, as you say, is devastating. At this current moment, things are better now. We did manage to help them to seek shelter with friends and families, and the local leadership have provided shelter. We also managed to provide mattresses, blankets, and home food. So we have been, basically, since Friday, we've been providing hot meals every day, breakfast, lunch, and supper.
We spoke yesterday to Alex community leader Babalinda Twala, and he was speaking about how the people will now need to be moved to a safer area, saying that they're going to be urging the residents there to dismantle and take what's left for recycling so that they have more money to rebuild their homes. What role do you play when it comes to assisting those residents in rebuilding their lives? And perhaps also take us into what you've been witnessing during this process.
Okay, so during this process, when we do assessment, it's, as you say, it's really very, very devastating. We find that families lost everything, including blankets, pots, everything that they own in their life, including IDs. So basically, from Gift of the Givers, what we've been trying to do, we've been mobilizing our resources to make sure wherever, working closely with the disaster management and other governmental departments, to make sure wherever they're going to be placed, we are going to continue with our aid to make sure that we're still going to provide aid for them able to start. Maybe it's something that can actually able to help them for the first few months before they get on their feet. So we are providing such as food and make sure that they still have good clothing. And also we are trying by all means through our management to make sure that we also provide them with they've lost plates. We're talking about even pots that they used to cook. So it does not make sense that we give them food but don't have them pots where to cook from. So we are also working on actually making sure that we provide all those services to them as well.
In terms of the group of people who've been affected and the demands when it comes to perhaps trying to repiece their lives together and their day-to-day needs, you've mentioned food and shelter as being really important. What are the other requirements that are needed as you assess the group and, how they've been affected in different ways?
Well, basically, after every incident like this, people are shocked. So we are also looking into psychosocial intervention so that they can receive counseling because it's a traumatic event. A lot of people, they escaped their lives. I think one of the people was actually injured because he was the last person to get out of the building. It was very traumatic for them. So we are also trying to coordinate with the other local providers of psychosocial interventions to make sure that they're also going to get counseling, basic counseling as well.
So where are they being housed at the moment, Tapiwa?
At this current moment, there's been a shelter, a local check that was provided near to the incident, and some of them, they've managed to get friends and families around the township in Alex as well. So, but we are still working with our disaster management to make sure that there is a plan. Because one of our major issues in all such situations like this is that people don't have a place to live, and this thing is recurring because people still go back to every vandalized building. So we are trying by all means to make sure that after this incident like this, either the place that has been vandalized get closed permanently, then people can really move located to safe places.
It seems we may be speaking about two different incidences because we know that in Alexandra around 200 people have lost their homes after a fire ripped through a number of shacks, and there's also another incident that also took place during the course of the week, which resulted in another fire taking place. So it brings the count of people who've been impacted by fires in these cold winter months to a very high number.
No, definitely, definitely. Every day, as I'm talking now, I just received another call again, another area again has been actually, there's a fire outbreak again. So this time of the year, we are forever busy, and we know that this is the time where people have to be cautious. We put the word out there that everyone has to be cautious when it comes to issues of fire, your candles, the drinking people, and the stoves, using stoves as a heater. All of that, we are trying by almost to educate our community so that they're very cautious, because this is the time where almost every day we receive a call where the people need aid.
As you try and manage this process, Tapiwa, talk to us about some of the big challenges that you normally face with, you've made mention now that a lot of the times people have nowhere else to live after a certain period when you've assisted for a certain amount of time.
Some of the challenges that we face is that after you have provided the needed aid, a lot of people, they are, like, for example, we provided hot meals, but then it's difficult for them to move to the new area because a lot of people, they still want to go back to rebuild where it's already illegal. So most of the time to convince the people that this place is not safe for them. That's why most of the time we find that the fire keep on happening over and over and over and over again in the same place, and the education still seems like it's not working because people are simply asking the same question: where do we move to? Which is an answer that I cannot provide at that moment when people ask me, where do we move to? Which we have to take back to the government. Where can you help people to move to? Because even at the end of the day, they cannot even close that place and leave it open. And sometimes you realize that the community needs a lot. Fire happens every time, and it's cold. And most of the time, there's no electricity. There's illegal connections. And when you try to educate people about legal connections, but still you find that most of townships, this is the norm of the life.
Very well. Thank you so much for your time. Tapiwa Marima, Gift of the Givers Gauteng coordinator, speaking to some of the challenges when it comes to fires, speaking to a fire disaster in Marlboro, Johannesburg, and another incident, of course, that we saw in Alexandra, resulting in 200 shacks being destroyed. Let's now take you to the